Bande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Krishna Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, who is the destroyer of the Kamsa, demon Kamsa and Chanura, and who is the delight of Mother Devaki, and the world teacher, Guru of Gurus. Our salutation to that Krishna. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now, we are again on the Bhakti Sutra, or called Narada's way of divine love. Sutra is like a thread. So, we have read the other day that Sutra 7. And today we will start on verse number 8, Sutra. It is, thread is connected. One goes to the other, and then that makes a garland. So here also, we find that the last verse we read, it talked about renunciation. What is renunciation? We thought that renunciation is for the monks. Monk will have to give up this, that. Bhakta, what to renounce? Yes, Bhakta has also so much to renounce. And what is the renunciation of the devotees that we'll read today? To sum up what we have read, probably you all remember the definition of the Bhakti was given for the first verse. And the second verse said that is called the devotion, which is Parama Prema Rupa, which is the nature of supreme bliss in God. In that, God the Saguna, God the Nirguna. And then we have said that this is Amrita, its nature is of the nature of love, and that love is of the nature of Amrita, not ordinary love. Ordinary love is called sticky love. Huh? Ordinary love is called sticky love, attachment. People get stuck and they cannot come out, and that becomes a struggle and problem. But love for God will be non-sticky. Not only non-sticky, it will be of the nature of Amrita, immortality. So that was the third verse. Fourth verse says that if you reach that Amrita, what will happen? That devotion will make you Janglabdva Siddho Bhavati, you become perfected. Amrito Bhavati, you become immortal. You become tripta, satisfied, fulfilled. There is no more cravings for anything. It is not fulfillment of eating. If we eat, what happens? Lunch we eat, evening time we get hungry. Today, good meal, as much as you eat, but tomorrow again you'll be hungry. But this, attaining this, there will be such no more craving for anything. That's why it is immortal and Amrita. And attaining that, you don't crave for anything. Even if we have everything, but still mind will ask for, grieve for something more. But attaining this, no vanchati, do not crave for anything, no shochati, does not feel separation from anything, and lament for the separation. No dvesti, don't hate anybody, don't grieve, don't hate, and then don't rejoice in anything. You got something, we feel elated. It does not feel any elation for gaining anything. That means it is the highest grade. What you get, there is nothing more to gain. And he does not extend himself in furtherance of self-interest. Utsaha. Utsaha means excitement. People get so much excited if something comes of his own or her own choice. I will do it, I will get it, I will do it. Huh? And if it is not up to your own interest, it's a botheration. Normal. But this devotion, you'll after attaining that devotion, there is nothing you'll feel that to interest in anything else more, and I'll work for that. First of all, there will be nothing in which I'll be interested, and then being interested, I'll be excited to do something. The two things will go away. That we read. And sixth verse we read, sixth verse said, Yat gyatva bhakto bhavati. This is love in such a love. You get intoxicated, matto, like a drunk person. Matto bhavati. Sometimes it is such profound that you become stabdha. Stabdha means just like a statue. Inert, jara. Jara, like, Thakur used to go to Ramakrishna going to Samadhi, and at that time he's totally immobile, as it were, almost like a dead body. So it becomes like that. And Atmaramo, it is not that someone will go to unconscious state. Someone standing and fell down, unconscious. What happened? Sometimes he goes to such unconsciousness, it may be like a dead. And Ramakrishna used to go to that condition like a dead. But it is not the dead like thinking of matter. It is jara, it is chetana. It is full of consciousness, full of bliss, saturated in bliss. So that is the Atma Ramo Bhavati. He rejoices in his own self. But this bhakti is different from other. That's the seventh verse we read the other day. This bhakti is not like ordinary love. Because sanakamayamana, it is not of the nature of lust. It is why? Rather, it stops all lustful thoughts. Just the opposite. It is attraction, it is love, but it is not lust. It is opposing all lustful thoughts. It blocks, as it were. And said that's why he did. Sana kamayamana. It is not of the nature of kamana, lustful thing, on verse number 7. It is of the nature of nirodha rupatva. It is of the arresting your all impulses. It stops everything. In Gita says that even their organs, they sink like that of tortoise. They become so absorbed in an inner joy. No attachment to the outside. It goes inward, as it were. So this is the nature we read. Now we'll read on page 42, verse number 8 today. The verse number 8 says what? Because we have said in the 7th verse that this bhakti described is of the nature of no kamana, not of the nature of lust, but it is of the nature of stopping the lust. Nirodha, break. You take a boot break. That love is spontaneously will make one stop all these outgoing tendencies. That means it is we are withdrawing from the outside then. As a sadhaka, spiritual aspirant, people start what? They give up this, give up that. Even bhakta, give up this, give up that. Only God. That means here it is much more pointedly defined, verse number, nirodhastu. What type of stopping of the lustful ideas and thoughts? Because it is nirodha rupa, means it is of the nature of renunciation, detachment. It is a tremendous, powerful detachment, which is called renunciation. Nirodhastu, to nirodha, this detachment, this renunciation is but to loka veda vyapara naso. Very beautiful what? Loka, Veda, Vyapara, Nasa. Loka means the lokik, this worldly, this what you call the phenomenal, transactional interaction in the world. He loka nyaso. He does not find any interest. Anymore, he does not find any interest to make friendship in the world, make hello, how are you, this, that. Yeah, maybe little, but nothing further. They will not talk about stock market. They will not talk about what has happened in this place or that place in the newspaper today, this, that. You see Ramakrishna has any interest. Read the gospel. There is no. That's why we are read this scripture. Look at Ramakrishna to verify. How is that? So Nirodha, this the renunciation which has been referred just in the verse number 7, which we read, ended at page 41 or at the end of, it started at 40, page 40 of the book, ended at the bottom of the 42. That Nirodha, renunciation, is characterized here to Loka Nyasa, Vyaparo Nyasa, and Veda Vyaparo Nyasa. Loka Vyaparo, your interest for the worldly pursuit, to get money, to get fame, to get friendship. I have so many fans. Go for like that. These are all cravings, name, fame, power, position, and material connection, material link to be famous here. Vyapara means issues. Vyapara, issues. Issues of Laukiko, phenomenal universe or transactional universe in this world. Very active. That goes away. A tendency withdrawn. Ramakrishna said to that devotee who came to Shri Ramakrishna, that if God comes before you, will you ask for some school, college, hospital? Oh Lord, give me hospital, give me. It's charitable one, good or. What the question of other type of activity which takes you to attachment or self-centered love? It is selfless love, doing hospital for the good of others. But when God comes, will you say, oh Lord, give me some hospital dispensary? Then you will find it is God's world. Who am I to do? What is my position? If I die now, what it matters to the world? World will go much safely, joyfully. Rather, sometimes I am a hindrance in the world. No? So it does not care for that. This is the renunciation comes. Understanding with this that that love is so tremendous, renunciation is so tremendous, he will live in the world, but will be untouched. There is Baul song. জলেতে নামিব সিনানো করিব আমার বেনি ভিজিবে না আমার যেমন বেনি তেমনি রবে বেনি ভিজে বেনি means the hair, long hair. The women, they braid them, this beni, when they take it deep. So now you have cap and things like that. But in that, people used to take in a reservoir or some pool. So this hair gets wet. But the song says, Vedantic song, I will go into the water. I will take it deep into the water. But I live in the water, but the water will not go into my hairs. I'll detach. That's the point. You live in the world with all diverse types of things in the world, but you have no inclination, no attachment, not sticky. So that vyaparo, that is the vairagya. Now what happened? But people will also love to do scriptural things. You are following the scripture, you are becoming shamadama, etc., practicing. So you're doing some homo fire. What? For what? I'll go to heaven. Most of the people in the whole world, in the religious life, to be good here. Why to be good here? To go to heaven. And we'll enjoy. because I will be in the heaven. And everyone's heaven is different. Muslim heaven is different because it is like 90 degrees, they are at 110 degrees, 20 degrees. So in the heaven, they want cool. They don't want heat. So they will say there should be all river flowing everywhere, water, water, water. Bengali heaven will be different. Bangladesh, you go, there are full of rivers and waters.
And fish.
Fish. Fish is good, but water is flood comes, this destroy. So heaven will be such a place. There will be not that much rain. The temperate weather will be there. South India, if you go, it's a tremendous heat. So concept in everywhere is to be happier there rather than here. And that's why they do some karma. Vyapara. Vyapara means activity. And what is your affair? Why do you come here? People say in Bengali. Tomar ki vyapar. What is your business? Why do you come here? So, vyapara of Laukiko vyapara and Vaidiko vyapara. Vyapara means the business or your presence. What is your business here? In the Laukiko, in the phenomenal world, in the transactional world, he is Nyasa. He remains there, but he is not there. And when he goes to the spiritual work, so-called spiritual work by charity, doing temple and doing good things, why I am doing? I'll go to heaven. Huh? That matter also, you will have no interest. I don't want to go to heaven. I don't want to be famous here. So they live in the world. Nirodhastu, beautiful verse. That's called the renunciation. Renunciation of the devotee becomes spontaneous. Not that you are forcefully, you will have to say, oh, I'll have to renounce, I'll have to renounce. Love will be so much intense and it will be so withdrawn that all the senses will be there, sense will not see anything. It's all dwelling inside. That's why it is called Thakur asked, Sri Ramakrishna asked him to bring a photograph of some sadhu. The sadhu with a hubble bubble or tobacco bowl and giving a puff and eyes somewhere else. Swami Brahmananda's picture. He is with a hubble bubble in the pipe in the hand, he dropped. And his eyes is like a glowing light. And where is look? You don't find his look is here. So Laukika and Vaidika, Vedic and Laukik, both type of work. He is not interested and he remains here, but he totally naso. He renounces. But his renunciation is effortless because he got something higher. So the question is that this is very important in that sense to understand that we are not talking of renunciation or what type of renunciation. It is not that being tormented in life's life's problems, I give up everything. No, I don't like it. Particularly temporary renunciation, momentary situation forces somebody. Some difficult, such a challenge people cannot face sometimes. People commit suicide, but spiritual people, little spiritual inclination, they want to give up everything and go like a wandering monk. But that does not stay because that is not real, genuine renunciation. Circumstantial situation force somebody to renounce. So that will not, we are not talking about that type of renunciation. Ramakrishna gave the example now. There is one man, he has his family he could not maintain and he really so frustrated, she suddenly disappeared. And everyone said that he has become a monk. And no family members don't find any clue of that gentleman. And then he left a note, don't search for me, I am becoming a monk. And they went back to the Benares. That day Benares going is not so easy. Like a wandering monk begging here and there. And ultimately he went there, renunciation. But after some time, later came, don't worry about me, I got a job now. So renunciation is not based on some frustration, but renunciation based on fulfillment. Such a fulfillment comes inside. Such an intense love comes from inside that you don't want to lose. The whole world let go. That's called the renunciation. Then in that, two types of ideas come into force. One is called the Loko Vyapara and Veda Vyapara. In early days, people were very righteous. They used to follow the injunctions of the Vedas. That means they used to follow Karma Kanda. Homa, chant this way. Offer your oblation this way. Mantra chant this way. Why? With this, you will go to heaven. You are renouncing. When you are performing fasting, collecting materials for this homo fire. So suppose in our working day, puja days here, how much preparation goes on, how much those who in the puja, in the pujarinis, when they arrange for the flowers, these, that, how much activity goes on. So all these things are done in a particular, and they're fasting, they're renouncing. But that renunciation is because of doing something homopire or something spiritual. But that spiritual, that is not spiritual, it's some ritual. Even that ritualistic karma also will have no interest there. He has the power to give up because it is renunciation of these two means it is intense love, it is prapti. It is not voidness. It is not frustration. This renunciation is not frustration, but renunciation is fulfillment. So devotees should not get frightened. Uma, I have to renounce? Yes. You are not renouncing for lower thing. You are renouncing for the higher thing. So that will be the verse we have. Let us read. So the translation goes, I'm reading from another translation. I will go to this book also. Nirodha means the renunciation referred to in the previous sutra as an invariable characteristic of supreme love. Tu means but. Loka Veda Vyaparanasa, meaning consecration or naso. Consecration or naso of the secular and sacred activities. Bhavati is secular activity and sacred activity. In the world, two types of activity. Sacred, good people, honest people, they do sacred activities. So he is much higher than others. But even that, your attraction for your heaven. You are interested in going for a pleasurable place. That's why you are renouncing this. That is not highest. But when you can give up that also, then and that is not void. Like Buddhism is misunderstood. Or philosophically in a debate is going on for centuries. It is void, void, void. No one wants to go to void. In anyone, do you want to go into void somewhere? No, why shall I give up all these things to go to void? We want to be fulfilled. And that's why Nirvana is a state. Buddha is a state of attainment. State is not void. Their own word, I'm using their word. State does not mean it's a void. State means something which cannot be expressed. That's the Vedanta says, avang, manasa, gochara.
You also say no thing.
Without, beyond mind. You cannot actually define it anyway. So this is the verse. Let us go what our book, this Prabhupada Swami's book, Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada's Way of Divine Love, speaks on page 42. It says, 8th verse, renunciation here means dedication of all activities, secular as well as sacred, to God. Simple thing, very simple way. Your dedication, renunciation, you renounce means what to renounce? Yes, means what? Giving up? No, it is not giving up. It is dedication. Dedication of all activities, all your secular activities, all as well as your sacred activities into God. So the renunciation, devotees' renunciation. So what is that? The book, page 42 says, the word renunciation sounds grim, but in fact, it means renouncing the smaller for the greater. Sweetened milk for ice cream. You receive something better in exchange. That is the renunciation. Renunciation is not frustration. I didn't get it. And lamenting upon that. So it says that there is a story of a holy man and the king. And the king came to the holy man, Akbar, that story, said that you are such a great soul. You have such great renunciation. It is not Akbar, that's another story. Akbar story, you know. Akbar story, that one holy fakir, Muslim saint came to the king, great king. Alexander? Akbar, Muslim king. Mughal king. He said, he said, he saw and he was doing namaz. Namaz means prayer. And at the prayer, the Muslim fakir, he came and he was sitting and he listened what he's praying. Oh Allah, oh Lord, give me more kingdom, more land, more wealth, more prosperity, more. And listening for 1 or 2 minutes, the fakir was going back. He started walking back. And then Akbar says, put his hand, wait. After finishing the prayer, he called that fakir, that you came here. People come to king or great king emperor for some reason, whatever you need, you personally can go and ask. And he gives that boon. You came here and you didn't ask for anything. You are going away. What's the matter? Well, I came, yes, I needed something. So I came to beg from you. But I see that you are a beggar. You are begging to Allah. So why not I shall beg the same thing from Allah directly? Why shall I ask you? This is the thing. Detachment comes because I wanted to get joy to the world. But world's joy, to get the world can give, any person can give joy unless consciousness is behind. The love of God is there. That love is transmitted. No. So why shall I go to via media to be a slave of somebody? I'll go directly to God. So this is the example. That means do everything for God. And this example gives the story that the holy man said, someone appreciated some holy man. You are such a person of renunciation. But he said, the holy man replied, oh no, you are greater man of renunciation. You see, I have renounced the finite, puny, ephemeral things for that which is infinite and everlasting. But you have renounced the eternal for the momentary, non-eternal life. So hence, your renunciation is greater than mine. So that means renunciation means always giving with the expectation of getting something. See, so monks should not be proud that I have renounced. You have not renounced. You are searching for greater joy. But the greatest joy, not greater, in between one level to another level to another level. Monks should be craving only for that eternal absolute. And devotee also. Diyomanang agrinnanti bina mat sevanang. The Bhagavat says, if the devotee is offered anything to him, he does not accept anything. Okay, you come to heaven, enjoy all these things not in the world. Nachiketa was tempted by that way. Come, I will give you so many singing, dancing girls and money and wealth. You will live for 100 years. How many? 100 is less, 200, 500, whatever you I need you everything. Bhumer, mahal ayatanam. I'll give you land. Some will be the emperor of how much big land you want. I'll make you a king and emperor of that. He said, no, sir. Tabai babaha tabu nishta gite. Oh, sir, let your singing and dancing you keep for yourself. Please help me to have this wisdom, knowledge. It's called renunciation. It is not negative, but he's expecting for the highest. He's giving up this lowest, no? Sometimes in our business or even a day-to-day normal life, you have one place they are cheating you and not paying you much money. Some people get really frustrated. You give up the job. Hurry, you give up the job without getting another thing. No, it is not working. I will try. And work wholeheartedly to get a good job. So it's giving up, not giving up. Giving up is for getting something. So renunciation is positive. And devotee's renunciation is positive. And devotee eats food, prasad. And Vedanta says what? Food, perchance, whatever comes. Ill. Okay. What is the line?
Food perchance become cooked well or ill. Judge not.
Cooked well or ill, judge not. Don't talk about that. You give good food to Thakur, and good Rasagulla has come. I take his Rasagulla I am eating. But prasad. That means it is renunciation. What renunciation? Renouncing the worldly thought out of it. That means you are enjoying. So renunciation is not negative for a bhakta. He sees something beautiful. He says, God is so beautiful. So everything is connected with God. And minus connected with, not with God is called bhoga. Bhoga. And this is called tyaga. Tyaga, bhoga. Tyaga means renunciation, bhoga means enjoyment. Just opposite. Same thing. When you are lustfully seeing the good food and eating, I am eating. So that my eating is bhoga, is entanglement. It is attachment. It is taking me down. My tongue is saying lust, it is lust of the tongue. I should get it. And get anything more. And tomorrow, could you do that? That was very good. I carry that memory to have that joy. But bhoga tyaga, whatever comes, I have taken. I don't care for taste. You don't care for taste. But here, you can care for taste also. Also bring God into equation. That's the bhakta's renunciation is different than that of so-called. But ultimately, renunciation is the same. You give up something for something higher. Sri Ramakrishna on page 43, first paragraph, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that the ideal of renunciation must grow naturally. One must not force oneself to renunciation. This is another thing. People always think that renunciation is highest. And don't make a jump of renunciation. Many people come here, I see, they also say, I want to give up everything. And they start giving away their all necessary things at the beginning. Wait, you may need it. Unless your mind totally gets satisfied that I cannot bear without God, then you give up. But it should be natural. It is gliding. No. Your spiritual life should be gliding into joy to higher joy to higher joy. Giving up from lower to next high to next high. So it is like that. It should be natural. Renunciation should not be forced. That you will have to do this. This is the rule. If too much rules, there is no spirituality. Because people follow the rules only. If you don't do, then you'll be penalized. There are abbots in earlier in the monasteries and things. There are abbot will punish you. Or say nuns are there, some in the nunnery, the mother superior will be watching this, penalize you. No. Renunciation. Oh, you went out. Did you not take permission? In monasteries, old monasteries, no? And why did you go? You didn't ask her permission. How can you go? It is a restriction. You should stay within the monastery. Huh? It is someone to supervise and make a rule. No, I don't find any interest in anywhere going. Only I want to do Thakur's work and to absorb myself. This spontaneously renunciation happens. So this is the idea. Sri Ramakrishna's ideal of renunciation is to grow naturally. One must not force oneself to renounce. And he gives this example. If a man tries to remove the scab from a sore before it is completely healed, the sore will get worse. Is it not? So if you have a sore here, and there is a scab over it, and you want to pull it out, you see, as soon as you pull out, bleeding will start. It will take longer time to heal. So, but when the sore is become, after some time it drops off automatically. It falls automatically. So love for God, focus on love for God. That should be so intense that your attachment will drop automatically. Your renunciation is not forced. Then you will say, I cannot stay. If even whole family members come to take you back, come, we are... it happens in India, also every country, mom, dad, they do love. If it's Jewish mother, then a son comes of Jewish mother. Then it has Jewish mother.
They're very possessive.
Possessive. My son, how can you go? I cannot live for a moment. No, normally,
with the son.
The son, not with the daughter. That was Bengal. Or in India, girls are not that much, boy. So that's why it is the they will cry, they will do, but I'm not actually make them cry unnecessarily. My attraction for God is becoming so intense, I cannot help you. No, we are in life. Sometimes we become helpless. Someone has gone to hospital, suppose nowadays, and you know that he wants to see you, we want to see them, but it's not possible. What do you do? It's a present situation. We accept it. It is called forceful acceptance. In spiritual life, it should be spontaneous. I love, I pray, I do my best with the thing, but under my mental condition, I cannot really satisfy, or I cannot stay back into this life. I have to go to this life. It is a pool, as it were, big magnet. Attraction is here is a big magnet, and here is a needle, and there is a small magnet. To which direction the needle will run? Needle will run to the higher magnetic attraction. No. So higher magnetic attraction will be natural to detach from the other attractions. Our thousands of attractions all around, this attraction should be, this force, this renunciation. This is a force, it's a power. And it should be for God and God only.
And it's something that grows.
Grows.
You
that,
can't force it.
We read it later on. It's a pratikshana vardhamana. This bhakti, this love for God, if we nurture, it increases day by day. More. You find more solace, more peace, more joy. Some people find hours and hours to meditate, all sitting. They're finding some joy, some type of connection there. And they do, if given opportunity, they will be fully absorbed in that. That's a great for that person. So love for God should be so intoxicating. Even first of all, that will happen, and then the ritual will drop. Ramakrishna is calling upon Ma. He was doing the ritual worship. Ritual worship also going on. Offering flower, bringing fruits and flowers and chanting the mantras and sandal paste and this and that. And actually, glow slowly, gradually, what happens? Love grows intense. And the puja, the external ritual drop. He could not perform worship ritual anymore. That's the intense attraction is making him stop all external activities, secular and spiritual. Let this scab dry up, then it will fall away by itself. That means our attractions for the mundane worldly thing, let it mature in its own. That's why it is said, those who feel too much attraction for sensual joy and thing, a spiritual life of renunciation is not for them. Let them enjoy a little. That enjoyment itself will give them one step up, because he is honest and he experienced, and after experience he will understand he cannot get joy there. So that joy will be spontaneous. It will be sanskara will push him. No. It is done. That's why so many history of transformation of the people we hear. Similarly, you must move towards God. Pray for pure devotion. Learn to love God. And as that love grows in your heart, passion will naturally come under control in your heart. And your heart will cease to be attached to the worldliness. You need not have to fight with it. It will spontaneous. That's why you say, Ramakrishna said, move towards God. Move one step towards God, you are one step off from the other side. Focus your attention, love God, move God towards God, cry for God, do all activity connected with God. That is the way. Positive. So renunciation is positive. Renunciation, I have to give up. That side is our no. Love this side. Go move in this side. How to dry intellectualism? Intellectual knowledge is necessary, but dry intellectualism takes us to nowhere. Tears are necessary. Love for God is necessary. The example is Ramakrishna. Example is Vivekananda. Vivekananda is running in such a one day. He is running, and he has shoes. One pair of shoes is one slipper left somewhere, and he came with another slipper in whose body is smeared with straw. He was running. He didn't know where he is running, but he came to Ramakrishna. It's like filling the pool like that. Renunciation. You need not think to renounce. The pool is so far that is taking you here. That should be thus the path of devotion is the most natural and the easiest to follow, because you think of God more and more. Love will grow in your heart, and as love grows, discrimination. As love grows for God, discrimination means dispassion, discernment, and purity of the heart will come to you naturally. You need not have to. So our path is very simple. That's why I said, love God. Put God into your equation. Put Ramakrishna in every phase of your life. Every moment you are cleaning, you are cooking, you are serving, whatever you are doing, you're doing for God, Ramakrishna. And then detachment will come. You will not be interested in gossip. You will not be interested in talking to mundane things. Because you know that it's much edifying, it's much peaceful thing to think of God and doing offering to God. The analogy given is that God is a big magnet and that our passions and worldly enjoyments are smaller magnets. But when these smaller magnets attract us, we do not feel the pull of the big magnet. Because of the dirt and dust which have gathered in our minds. However, if we long for God and weep for Him, the dirt and dust are washed away, and we feel the attraction of being big magnet, God, as divine grace. The perfect soul has neither desire nor craving. His renunciation of worldliness has become natural to him. He lives, moves, and has his being in God consciously with full awareness. So his attachment goes on like that. Renunciation does not mean shunning all activities, but that all the actions of man, of God, whether secular or spiritual, are dedicated to God. Yeah. It is not that you have to give up everything. You do the same thing as you are doing. Look at that. Our Ramakrishna order is such. No? A boy was an engineer. He was doing some software engineering. No? Oma, we are renouncing job. No money, no job. I'm not tired of that job. And you come here. Then our Swamis will say, okay, you have this skill. Okay, you do this work. It falls upon you. Huh? You are a musician. In our India, there are scopes. Here we are less scope. But they will say, okay, you do the evening prayer every day. You do the group singing here this way. So what you are doing as an engineer, as a professor, or as a gardener, or as a cook, they come here, you do the same thing. So what is the difference between doing at home and doing at here? The same thing. Rather, you do more here sometimes. In home, you boys may not be needed to do the dishes that much in India at least. Will come and sisters will make a cup of tea, or mom will prepare tea and food, and they will come and like a lord they will eat. Sometimes some guests come here. Husband and wife. Husband is sitting. Hey, come, take. No, he cannot put his food into his plate. Wife will have to put it. Right, see? So the actions will not go. Same action. Only you are doing for God. You are doing this center. Whose center is this? I am here today. I'll go away tomorrow. I'll die tomorrow. Some people are here. Say, you go back in 93 situation when I came here. Who are the people here?
I was here.
I'm saying some people who are there, many of them gone. And those people come back, they'll say, I don't know many of them. So, but the work is going on. So this is the point. But the Thakur's work goes on. And we come, we join and purify ourselves and we pass on. And someone comes, takes up the job. So it is that like that. His work becomes worship of God. He may live in the world, but is not of it. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, let the boat stay on the water, but let not the water stay in the boat. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, quoting the Bhagavad Gita, a few quotations. Freedom from activity is never achieved by abstaining from action. Nobody can become perfect by merely ceasing to act. In fact, nobody can ever rest for his activity even for a moment. Here, activity means mental actions also, conscious or subconscious action. All are helplessly forced to act by the gunas. By the gunas we work, no? But you give it to God. A man who renounces physical action. In early days, they used to give up physical action. That is called when you take a sannyas. What? You cannot do any home of fire or things because you are a wandering monk. So you need not have to do. So many people just become a monk means I need not have to do all this mandatory work. No?
Cooking.
Cooking. Cooking, going to job, earning money, this, that business. Okay, let me be monk. If that type of feeling comes, they may avoid the work. But work does not leave them. Their mind, they don't find satisfaction in spiritual life because the type of thing what he wants some joy, which he is not getting in the world. That's why he has given up. So a man who, Gita again, A man who renounces physical action but still lets his mind dwell on the object of sensual desire is deceiving itself, deceiving himself. Giving up outwardly but enjoying mentally. That is much dangerous. Rather, you have your external enjoyment and finish those things and then come. I don't care for those things. So that means it is a high ideal of bhakta also, jnani also. He can only be called a hypocrite. The truly admirable man controls his senses by the power of his will. All his actions are disinterested. Disinterested means they do only work for work's sake. They don't want any name, fame, power, position, or any other praise. All are directed along the path to union with Brahma. Another Gita verse. The world is imprisoned by its own activity, except when actions are performed as worship of God. Therefore, you must perform every action sacramentally and be free from attachment to the results. The Gitas are ideal. Do all action fully detached and enjoy your freedom. We do work, sometimes work binds us. Karma bandhan. Karma may be bondage and karma may be freedom. Now, you can tie one thing this way and you can also rotate like this in the opposite direction, untie. Tying and untying is only the movement of the rope clockwise or anti-clockwise. So, anti-clockwise movement, freedom. Clockwise movement binds. So, attachment, I'm doing for any motivation, binding. And this is the opposite. I do no expectation. I don't expect anything. If you are bold enough, that is your renunciation. Then you are free. I don't care for anything. I do it because I am to do this service to God. Bas, I am happy there. That's my attainment. That's my fulfillment. I don't care for anything else. That is the idea. So Sri Krishna teaches the secret of worshipping God through all one's activity. He says, whatever your action, food or worship, whatever the gift you give to another, whatever you vow to work of the spirit, O son of Kunti, lay these also as offering before me. Shankara, he is talking about Bhagavad Gita says so. What Shankara says? Shankara also says the same. What he says? Shankara, having realized the secret of the work, said, whatever I do, O Lord, all that is thy worship. Jat karma karomi, sakalam. Whatever I do, O Lord, tabu aradhanam, your worship. Worldliness means to feel that I am the doer. Attachment to the worldly objects and person is to feel that I possess them. They belong to me and they are mine. Sri Ramakrishna often used to say, I am the machine, thou art the operator. I am the house, thou art the dweller in the house. I do as thou makest me do. I speak as thou makest me speak. Quotations. Now, God is the king, the ruler within our heart. But when through ignorance we become forgetful of his benign presence within us, we have usurped his throne. We must shun the false sense of ego and let the true king, the Lord within, rule us, guide us in every way. Say day and night, not I, but thou, my Lord. So you dethrone God from your heart when you say, I did it. Because God is doing. Yeah? God is the doer, everything. I am the machine. Oh Lord, you are the machinist. You are the driver. This is the car. And now when you think, I did it, you have dethroned God, who is the real doer. He is a good guy. He said, okay, Baba, you take your credit. Go and then get a battery. The world batters us day and night. If you have given God there, battering will not come to me. I did. Oh Lord, I give it to you as you have made me do. So I am not involved into it. But when I forget God, then blow must come to us. We take and we will have to get the suffering, pain, joy, praise, whatever comes, because of the action, it will come to me. And that is bondage.
The driver gets a ticket, the car doesn't get.
Hey, driver is getting. But driver drives by whose will?
No, the driver is the God, you say.
No, I'm saying no, driver
And
is.
he gets a ticket.
A driver gets a ticket. A driver's problem. Police will fine him, if anything. Or praise, your driving is so good. Last 10 years, there is no scratch. In your life of 30 years, you have no scratch of driving. Wow, give some pampering. No, it goes to the driver, not to the car. No one comes to the car, say, hey, you did a good job. Driver gets the credit. So God is the driver. Make God your driver, not I, your own ego as driver. A perfect soul has freed himself from all the sense of false ego, and having completely surrendered himself to God, has achieved his union with him. The spiritual aspirant should try to imitate the lives and actions of enlightened ones. These are all not theory. Look at Ramakrishna. Look at Vivekananda. Look at our great stalwart Swamis of our order. How they worked, how they served. They did so much, totally egoless. And that's why we call them, we respect them. We listen to their words. Suppose we are reading Jyotisharananda, we read Swami, Bhuteshananda Maharaj we are reading. So these are people of experience. See how they have done it. They lived like us. They worked like us. So we have to follow how they lived, how they behaved, how they worked. He should keep his goal always before him. Union with God. What is the goal? Union with God. The best method of reaching this goal is to cultivate faith that union can be achieved. Faith, first of all, you should have some faith that union can be achieved, not in the distant future, but at any moment. God's grace can come now. Now you are waiting. You are waiting for God's grace. You go to the temple, maybe within a split second on the way you can have a realization. It can happen any moment. But we should be ready for that. How will we be ready? We should be awakened into the consciousness. God is the driver. God is behind me. God is doing this. If that intense thought goes on in the inner chamber of the heart, what will happen? Split second. You listen all the experiences of the great saintly people. It does not mean that they will have to sit in meditation and then they will come. Said, what is called? Saul become Paul when he got that revelation experience. Every day meditating. One day Ramakrishna saw mother like that. No? It can happen anywhere. You are eating, you are sleeping, you are just standing up. You may have a vision experience. If one is ready all the time. That's why Swami Brahmananda told Swami Prabhupada, my child, always be ready. He wanted to see the room, how room is cluttered. Normally we keep our room here and there. But they don't like that. So when Maharaj said, I'll go to check your whole room, then Maharaj, I'm not ready. And then Maharaj said, Brahmananda Swami said, my boy, be always ready. Keep yourself ready all the moment. God can come any moment. যদি আমার হৃদয় দুয়ার বন্ধ রহে গো কভু দ্বার ভেঙে তুমি এসো মোর প্রাণে ফিরিয়া যেও না কভু. Oh Lord, don't go back. যদি আমার, if this my heart, হৃদয় দুয়ার, this door of my heart here is closed, I don't look. যদি কোনো দিন এ বিনার তানে, in this music of my, in the instrument, this body music, no? তো যদি কোনো দিন এ বিনার তানে তব সুর গান নাহি ঝঙ্কারে, your tune, your glory is not sung in this body. Oh Lord, don't go back. Please come and wait and enter into me. So we should be ready. That preparation. ready for God vision every moment. And everything is done only for God. That is the point. We should follow their path. The best method of reaching his goal is to cultivate faith that union can be achieved, and not in the distant future, but at any moment. At the same time, however, he must be patient. Patience and perseverance are the two characteristics of the true spiritual aspirant. It may be we should not give up our idea. It may happen now. Are you ready? That readiness should be ours. And if it does not happen now, I'm doing for 20 years. What is that 20 years? 20 years is nothing. 20 million births are necessary. We did it. How many crores? How many crores? 8.4 million naki bole. 84 crore. 84 crores of births. So 8.4 million a billion births we have taken. So we'll wait for that. What is there? So don't get excited. Don't get depressed. Just hold on and wait for his grace. But you get ready. It happen now. You always keep it yourself. Tune to that consciousness. And let your life's instrument, the Bina, the stringed instrument of your life, be tuned to God consciousness. Let it sing the glory of God. Rabindranath Tagore, wonderful. So we end here. But now, if we have anything to do, one question. Procreation of kids creates bondage. If everyone become a monk for doing service to God, as renunciation is the ultimate goal to realize God, then how will procreation happen? What is the ideal way? How do we be ready to receive the grace of God? What does ready mean? Anyhow, readiness means that we should have to be thinking that yes, God is with me and I'll have to experience that. That is readiness. When he comes, we should be ready. Our response should be there. Suppose someone comes over here and I am waiting for him and he comes over here, he stands over here and I don't look at him. His presence may be here, but I will not be recognizing him. So God is present here and it is so close to me, but I am not experiencing him. So what will happen? That's why the Samsara, as you say, procreation of the kids create bondage. No, never. Bhakti does not teach that. As your duty, you have a child, but look upon the child as Gopala, the Lord himself, God himself, baby Krishna, baby Christ, baby Ramakrishna, baby Ma Sarada. Look at that. Don't look at that. It is stopping. But you have to see God. That is the question. That is the Bhakta wants to do. There is a balance. Receive his grace. So what to be readiness? Readiness means our mind should be always thinking that this is my goal of life. I will have to reach this goal. Practice of awareness. Practice of the presence of God. That book, Brother Lawrence, he talks the same way. The practice is necessary of the presence of God. God, I will not to purchase God from somewhere. Not that God is not here. God will one day jump over here. God is everywhere. When our mind is just ready, pure, it can feel it. Oh yeah, there is a story. I will end with this story of Ramachandra. Tulsidas. Tulsidas, who is the writer of Ramcharitmanas, the life of Ramchandra. The whole India is vibrant with that Tulsidasi music and chants and the explanation of that. It's beautiful. There, Tulsidas ji his chosen ideal is Ramachandra. So he wants to see Ramji, as we say Ramakrishna now. Okay? Someone says Christ. So Tulsidas' ideal is Ramachandra. He wants to have a vision of Ramachandra. And he's going to the different saints and things like that. But where to go? Who will help him? So I forgot where he got the instruction that, there is in Benares, he used to live in Benares, Kashi, Benares. Benares, understand? Benares means Varanasi, Kashi. So he was in Kashi. And then he used to live in one place, and somebody told him, no, you go to the Sankat Mochana temple, Hanumanji's temple. Huh? And to get Rama, you need the grace of Hanumanji. If Hanumanji graces you, then you will be, as we say, our Guru should grace us. Like that, Hanumanji is the Guru like. But how to, and Hanumanji, you can see him in Hanumanji in that temple. So how shall I find it? Well, you will find that when there is the priest comes and gives a good sermon on Rama, you will find that one very old gentleman on his tottering on his stick, you will find that he comes without disturbing anyone and sits at the far end. And he comes and does some repetition of the mantra, and you will find that he does not look at anything. He listens to the Ram Katha, the sayings of, as we are doing the discourse, Rama discourse, Ramakrishna discourse. And he goes, everyone goes away, he goes last person to leave, he goes away. And you catch him. He is Hanumanji. Huh? He believed it. So he went and he really found that one old man with a sticker and coming and sitting in the corner. At the end of all, and behind all, humble like that. And constantly repeating the name of the Rama, 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 Rama. Japa, Japa, Japa. Huh? And he then watched one day and he didn't say anything. He watched where he came and he left. But he goes and afterwards he does not find where he going back. So one day happened. Second day, he approached. See, please help me. I want to have Ram Vision. But I am a poor guy. I'm an old guy. Why are you asking like that? So he got bewildered. She gave up. Then third day he saw again. Then he again approached him. So please, 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 please help me that I will have Rama darshan. So Hanumanji then was pleased and said, okay, you go to Ramghat in Chitrakoot, another place. And there you will find Ramji. If you are pray for him, and he will be appearing before you. So
You'll be what? Wait a minute, what?
He will go there and see Ramachandra will be there. He will have the vision of Ramachandra there. And so Hanumanji said that he's a human body, but this Hanuman in a subtle body, he appeared in that. That means that's why we keep a cushion. Whenever there is Ram Nam, Hanumanji comes. He's an ardent devotee of Rama. So wherever anyone utters the word Rama, Hanumanji is present there, like ardent devotee. So that's why Swami Brahmananda saw that in mystic vision. That's why he instructed, give a cushion there. And Hanumanji comes, this Hanuman seat. Anyhow, so he went to Tulsi Ghat. That's called the Tulsi Ram Ghat. I visited that place. There, he says that Tulsi Chandana Ghishe, Tulsi चित्रकूट का घाट में भई संतन मेला. In the Chitrakoot, that area, holy place, in that area, many sadhus are there, gathered together. And they are taking bath in the Ganga, coming out and going. But Hanumanji said that you go and get your visa. So he was making a sandal paste. So with a closing his eyes, he's making sandal paste and Ram, 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 Ram. And Rama came and he looked at that. But Rama, he is not looking at him. Hanumanji is so absorbed, that Tulsidas-ji is so absorbed, he's closing the eyes and doing that paste, making that paste. So one day it happened like that. But he is so absorbed inside, he's not seeing that Rama came and standing there. One day went, second day went. He's still, second day also, Rama came, stood there and went away. And then Hanumanji felt the responsibility. Arey, Ramji is coming here and this poor guy is not opening the eyes. Physically he is present there to give him darshan. Then he became a bird, taking the form of a bird. That time he took the form of old man. Here he took a form of the bird. And there is a tree on the bank of the river, Mandakini river, where he was doing this paste. And there is a small Ram temple. So he staying in the tree, top of the tree, chirping like that, and he uttered this way. Chitrakoot ka ghar mein, in the ghat mein, in the steps of Chitrakoot, Bhai Shantana Mela, so many sadhus have gathered, and Tulasi Chandana Ghishe, Tulsidas is making that sandal paste. Tilaka Parera Gurai. What he will do? The sandal paste is prepared, but he is not giving. So Ramji took out of his own hand from the sandal paste, himself he took, and he's putting on his forehead. And then Tulsidas opened and saw Ramji. So this example is what? Ramji was there every day. He was not watching outside. This is, of course, another example. Ramji is with us. Ramakrishna is every day standing before us. Of course, he was absorbed in taking the name of Ram, 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 and making the sandal paste. We also make the sandal paste talking about what has happened to this center, who has come, who is going away, and sandal paste we are doing. And this is the only difference. That's when your garland time, you have to, don't talk. We say, only garland time you take the name of the Lord and put the garlands. Huh? That feeling. Do with awareness that you are doing for God. And then you can feel the presence by God's grace. Anyhow, so thank you all.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you. So we'll see you again at 7:30, and I hope to see you for our class on Yoga Vasishta, Nectar of Supreme Knowledge. But I end here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Okay, Swamiji.